Okay, so trap placement. A lot of times it's almost better to go with a body kill than try to feed them bait. So if you know they've stored food or they've been in the house a long time, don't just bait with peanut butter and set them in corners, because they're not going to go for it, obviously. What you want to do is go for a body kill with or without the bait. If you have new traps, you need to blend it in. So if they're in a basement, sweep the floor, take those sweepings and dust it over the trap. Place it in the middle of the run. Don't put it in corners of the room, because they'll slow down. They might stick their tail on it and nose it for curiosity's sake, but they're not going to trigger it most likely. So what you want to do is find out where their runs are, which takes a little bit of skill. You got to follow grease, hair. You kind of got to know where they're going back and forth. You put some cornstarch on the ground and make it like a tracking powder, so they track through it and you can kind of see where they're coming and going. Rats, when they first come into houses, they'll go along the walls, but if they've been in a house for a little while, they'll start just running right across the room. So you kind of got to know where they're running to set the traps. Also, let's see here. Let's say this printer's the wall. It's the trigger. Most people just set it directly against the wall, so when they're running, it's going to stop them, or they're going to see that straight ahead of them, and they're going to be like, no, there's something in my pathway. So good secret professional tip is to, instead of directly against it, set it out maybe 2 inches or so. So they're going to look down that runway and see, there's something there, but I'm going to make it. And they're going to run, and they're going to trigger the trap, and it's going to get them on their body and actually knock them and kill them that way. It might not even catch them in the trap. A lot of times they're a foot or so, or even a little farther ahead, dead. A lot of times it's a bloody mess, but that's kind of how you have to do it sometimes. We use these. They're professional, Victor Professional. There's 2 different settings, a hard and a soft. One's for if there's mice in the area, they'll catch them with the mice, and the hard's just if you have rats. So there's 2 different ways. You got the baiting, which, where did I put that? Again, old dirty trap, or you got to kind of cover it up a little bit, feather it with some floor sweepings. Same thing with this. If it's new, you got to kind of disguise it a little bit. If they go in your cat litter dish, you can put it in with a cat litter kind of thing, that sort of thing. But old dirty traps are the best. Slim Jims are really good. You can cut up a whole piece of Slim Jim, bait your traps. We suggest putting about 17 to 25 traps is a good number for rats. And again, you can pre-bait, or another secret that we do is we bait all our traps about 17 to 25, sometimes a little less depending on the size of the area and how many rats there are. And then with the extra Slim Jims slices, we just kind of spread around groupings of the traps, or just a couple traps. We also set them by the floor drains, because we know they're coming in and out of that drain. A lot of times we'll just set 4 or 5 traps around that floor drain, because they'll either want to go down there again, or just go get water there at nighttime. So that's a hot spot to set them. Again, you can pre-bait, or just throw a couple Slim Jims on the ground too, and that way if they're accepting the bait. A lot of times they'll collect all that loose Slim Jims on the ground. Once they do that, they'll come back and get snapped by the trap.